Hello, this is Simply Exploring, and I'm back in northeastern Pennsylvania, here in Scranton, PA, at Nay Aug Park, here for the seasonal reopening of the Brooks Mine here at Nay Aug Park again. And we've been here before. I was here about 2 years ago for the first reopening after 40 years, and I got in contact with Chris Murley, who's part of the UGM group, and I'm coming back again because there is a little bit of new stuff to see, and we're gonna do probably a special thing. So without further ado, let's go check out the mine. So the Brooks Mine in Scranton, PA was initially conceived as a model mine in early 20th century to showcase anthracite coal mining. Opened to the public in 1902 by Reese Brooks, it was part of the Scranton School of Miners, aiming to educate visitors about the industry. While real coal mine, it was never used actual extraction, but served as an educational exhibit. The Brooks Mine served as a way to introduce the public to the world of coal mining, showcasing the conditions and process involved, especially during the anthracite boom in the area. It provided a glimpse into the lives of miners and the industry role in the region's development. Its reopening is seen as a way to preserve this local history and educate future generations.
Thanks, Dad. Don't thank me. Oh, well. Funny how.
So this is the escape way. Sorry for the large noise of the fan, but that's how they ventilate it. Hoping to be coming through there soon at some point during this tour. I asked Chris if I can do a escape way crawl. Right over there, some of the gentlemen are getting some anthracite here. Alrighty.
Great. Oh, how many? On?
So,
Be first for the year.
yep. So I'll be the first one. Technically the second one because Jay already got the preview of it.
What do you want to hear? Do you want to do anything, or you just want to go back and see the new
Yeah,
section?
you can talk about it as you want to.
Well, maybe we're not first. I hear
Oh
other
no,
voices inside.
I hear voices.
Mark's got somebody inside already.
Yeah, there was. I think.
Oh, they're just loading up the coal.
Yeah,
car.
coal. Yeah,
All right,
that's all of them.
Came in with some new lumps.
So here's the Dunmore number 2 and number 3 veins are right here.
Right. Yep. Yeah. So these are some of the deeper veins in anthracite. Dunmore
Okay.
number 3 is the bottom vein.
Okay.
So here we are at the top of the edge of the valley, but down in the valley, we're down, between 500 and 700 feet below the surface of the valley.
Oh wow.
With the Dunmore number 3. Same veins on the other side of the valley over at the McDade tour.
Okay.
You go down a ways and then you see those. And so here they're only 3 feet apart. Over there they're about 125 feet apart. Just the way the geology lays in the valley.
Okay.
So our first chamber here, this is where we have our new display.
Oh.
We have an operating drag line So
Okay.
this was just kind of dark the first 2 years. We didn't really use this much.
I remember
Since
this.
expanded this and opened this up.
Okay.
So we have a restored air-powered drag motor. It's got some new cabling. On special occasions, we'll hook up a compressor outside to power the air, and we'll be able to run it. We built a new drag bucket.
Scraper engine
And
signal.
we actually used it taking that coal out in there.
Okay.
We pulled about 30 tons of coal out of here for this new section, about 25 feet back. So we go back, and then there's a left-hand cross cut that we actually made a third pillar in the mine now. Previously we just had the two, so
Okay.
these workings go up and then they make a cross cut and connect to the escapeway tunnel. But every pull of that drag bucket saved us about 15 minutes of shoveling.
Yeah, I saw JP's video. They ran it on that occasion, and seen
Yep,
them dumping
right
the
here,
coal right here. So there's the coal right here on the ground. Fresh coal. Anthracite.
So it was a lot of fun. I think it took us 3 or 4 weeks to cut this in
Okay.
and get this all set up and all the props.
Timbered and everything.
Yeah.
Cool. Right here, there's the scraper engine signals. 1 bell stop, 2 bell drag, 3 bells return. Okay.
Seems to have the buzzer hooked up yet. See that? It's wired in, but I don't see it. There's a switchboard.
Oh, yeah.
So
Well,
did you see the escapeway as it was finished?
I'm trying to remember if it was already, they had just started it, or it wasn't quite finished, but
So this
I'm
is-
looking forward to do that.
It's about 45 feet long. And
Okay.
At the end, there's the
Second opening.
door there.
Okay.
And that's the one you see from the parking
Right.
lot.
Okay. I gotta get my secondary camera out there.
Okay.
So get a video of myself exiting. But I'll do that last.
And we moved
The man door. Okay.
We had a blasting display down here. We moved that to over here.
Okay. Oh, there's the drill. Okay. So there's the.
Now, yeah, so we still have the
drill,
jackleg
yeah,
drill here for the
yeah.
rock work. But the blasting display is now here in the Dunmore number 2.
Oh, okay. I see the.
So it was more appropriate to have it here with the face of the working
Right.
than down in the middle. Yeah, so we moved it. We set it up here.
So you can see the blasting pattern already
Yep.
set up.
Yeah, and so
And
the top holes and the bottom holes, and then you've got one, like the middle holes here are angled in, so that they create a space for that. When the first shot goes off, it makes a space for the other ones to blow into. Makes it pretty efficient. So most of the material will land right here on the floor.
And as you can see, there's material on the floor.
Here it is.
Cool.
So these are still the same.
So they already did an inspection today at 6 a.m.
Yes.
There's the daily inspection.
Our foreman actually works Saturdays.
Oh,
And he
okay.
drives by about, right about 6 in the morning, 4:45, and he comes in, does the inspection. We also had our state inspection today.
Okay.
The state guys are still here.
Yeah. Kind of figured they have their.
Yeah, 3 times a year they're here.
Okay.
Make sure things are safe.
Squared away.
Mhm.
There's a manual. A manual drill as well. which I
Yeah, so this one has this threading assist to help force that drill into the coal.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So you don't have to push it. We also have a breast auger.
It basically has a screw.
So having it pinned into the side of the coal here, it really gives it the pressure it needs to drill into that coal.
Any day now. It's a lot easier to just take it with the phone than having to switch the GoPro over to camera mode.
Yeah. And then you gotta edit all that. All that anyway.
Yeah. So there's a mine cart. Darn.
So they started bringing back in some of the big lumps that were outside.
Yeah.
On top.
Yeah, I got video of them grabbing the wheelbarrow and then yeah, Jay got lucky to see they had a cart.
Yes.
They were able to push back and forth.
Yeah. It's about a 1.5 ton buggy that we were using to take the coal out.
Yeah.
Kind of a pain, so we would load that right here.
Actually, let me go backwards.
So the same guy who made the drag bucket made that car.
Oh, okay.
And he kept track of.
This thing is slow.
We kept track of our work days here for how many buggies we took out.
Oh, wow.
So it was 26.5 the first day, and then 4.5 the second day.
So right here, like you said, they kept track
So
of
31 buggies,
31 buggies.
about 1.25, 1.5 tons per buggy.
Okay. So that's cool to see the drag bucket back there. Actually, we get a view from here.
It really adds a lot of depth to the tour now, having that dark corner opened up.
So I am now properly attired, as you can see. I have my knee pads on, getting ready soon to do a crawl through of the escapeway. There's another gentleman that's going to be coming through shortly. It's only 45 feet. It's the gentleman explained inside that it's only 45 feet for the escapeway here. So I'm looking forward to coming and doing this right here, exiting through there from somewhere down in here, comes down this way. So we'll give you a first-hand look of going through the escapeway.
When it was retimbered by Moffat Coal Company, another local coal company, and then it was open from 54 to 75. When it closed, where it needed to be timbered again, and they needed to put the second opening in. And then in the mid 80s, or 81, I believe they started on the Lackawanna Mine Tour over there, the 190 slope. When they started on that, there was a push to reopen this and put an escapeway out. There's a newspaper story about it, but then the city's like, why would we do that when we're opening the slope over there? So
Yeah.
So here it's at until 2022, when we were hanging out in a restaurant bar downtown, me and 4 other guys in the group, and I just said, "You guys ever see the Brooks Mine up in Nay Aug Park?" And I said, "No." Let's go take a walk up. We'll stand in front of the portal. And we had been talking about opening our own tour of some sort.
Right.
Reopen an abandoned mine in the woods, because one of our guys is a foreman, and we've all had the experience to do it. So we actually could now. So we've got to here, and we're standing outside the gate. I said, "Well, shoot, why don't we just talk to the city about reopening this?"
Yeah, it's
So
already
we did.
established.
Yeah, the park was all for it, and the mine inspectors were all about it. They were like, "It'd be great to have another."
Photos.
Oh yeah.
As we go, ignore me.
No, it's okay.
Sorry.
They were like, yeah, like, you got to put a second opening out and timber the place up and blah blah blah. And so then we came in and we did a few, because we didn't even know what kind of shape it was going to be, and if it was going to be collapsed or what shape it was going to be. And when we opened the portal and came in, it was in fine shape. There's hardly any timber. There was
there?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these props going through here, they're not doing anything. They're just because when
Look
you're
pretty.
coal, you have to have a prop every 6 feet.
Oh, is that what it is?
So yeah, rock tunnels you don't have to unless the roof is bad. But,
See, a lot of the pictures, it just looks like rock.
yeah. So this is the only spot where there's the roof is a little bit sketchy. So you
Yeah.
put the 3-piece sets in. There's a couple. It's a little fraction,
Yeah,
but it's all
and
kind of stuck together.
Yeah.
So it's not going to come down. But
Just
if
a
it was an
edge.
active mine, we would have just put props through, and that would have been it.
Yeah.
But since you got the public coming through here that have no idea what they're looking at, or
Right.
if some kid drug something across or did
Yeah.
something silly, you never know, So we wanted to make it super safe. So we put the 3-piece sets through here. We'll get to this part.
Yeah.
So it comes in, it's 160 feet from the portal all the way to the back. So it's not super far, and we're about 35 feet underground right here at the deepest spot.
Is that it? 35?
35, yeah. Yep. So this is, this is kind of the main chamber here. And we have all our couple little exhibits here with small hand drills and stuff set up over there. What's up, guys? Is this your first time at a coal mine? Yeah? No? Maybe so?
Yes, so cold in here.
That's natural air conditioning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah? Is it? Is it? Yeah.
Jerry, did you see the new thermometer? Yeah.
He's on
Notice the coal company?
Yeah, he's standing. No.
What's our pitch on our angle for most?
I think it's 5 degrees.
5 degrees.
Yeah, I think it's 5 to 7. It's the right about here is the steepest pitch, and it flattens out on these gateways. It's almost perfectly flat up there. Yeah. But it's kind of pitching over a little bit going this way. So maybe when we sink slope down under the park, But
We love expand.
I don't know. I mean,
We had to get out of there.
Making size of the parking lot.
yeah, exactly. That's how we did it over there.
Maybe.
So this car, this is a little mine car. This came from the Lehman 179 slope, which is right next to Block 1 Mines, where we're going later. It's the top of the street before it, up the top of Division Street. The fan house is still there with a fan entry, and the slope's got a big gate over it. But this was sitting there, all the metal for it, all the wood had rotted away, so we got it out. Actually, a friend of mine restored it, had it sitting in his front yard. There it sat for a while. Then when we opened this, he said, because there was another mine car here, it was bigger, it was about this high, and it was about maybe 2 feet longer on each side. We pulled that out of here and we retimbered it. Then we were going to restore it and bring it back in, but then he's like, "You want the little car to put inside?" I said, "Yeah, this is perfect." Because
So you can walk around.
we can walk around. Kids could look in and see a car full of coal. Kids' eyes are right down here. So
Yeah.
if it's something this high, they just see a car. So it's nice to let them see the lumps and they can pick up coal lumps. Yeah, you never know. Maybe make future miners.
Freaking absolute ass.
Oh yeah, this is nice coal. Yeah, this is all nice stuff. This didn't come from here. Actually, this one did. This came from Fire East Gateway. But this is all Clark vein. It came from a stripping up by Carbondale in case it got some coal company. But yeah, it's all nice coal. But yeah, this is the car that they filled outside and they're pushing it back in. That's so it's going to blast, so maybe pushing the coal back in the mine.
Right. Yeah.
Little dynamite thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Little
Okay,
fire
put your
battery.
fingers on this.
Yeah, that works.
Let me run it.
I have the other one we usually keep in here. It's a bigger one that I got 25 years ago now. And I took it home I told my sister, I said, "Can you put your fingers across this? I gotta see if this works." And she's like, "Okay." She's like, "Ah!" That was pretty good. But that one I got to make all new wood for because it got pretty rotten on the bottom. We let it sit in there all last winter.
Yeah.
So, poor thing.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful.
Got a powder box there. And we can continue around this way.
Yep. I was watching you guys every dig at with your posts.
Yeah. Mine phones, you know about mine phones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. Okay. That guy works. We don't have it hooked up to anything outside right now, but when we were moving the car, when we were dragging that out, the old one, all the track had rotted away.
Yeah.
So we couldn't pull it out on the road, and we couldn't just hook a strap up to it and pull it because we already had it timbered, so the car would have smashed all the timber going out.
Yeah.
So we put a snatch block on one of the pulleys, or on one of the props. And we took the old rail that we had taken outside, just rolled it on its side, and just let the flanges of the wheels roll on it.
Mm-hmm.
So we put 2 tracks down in front of it, pull it on that track, and then take the next 2 behind it, leapfrog over it, and just pull it out with that. We just pulled it out with a winch on the old track. And we used the mine phones for that to tell the guy with the winch outside when to stop.
Keep going.
Yeah. I think that's on YouTube, pulling that buggy out. But that's we used to use Dan's winch in the front of his Jeep to yank it out. So we got some old drills back here, old mechanical twist drill. These things were pretty cool. This was a brand new old stock twist drill from the early 1900s. You know, the older drills with the breast doggers, we had to lean into them and turn them. We got one of them in the chamber over there. We let the kids run it. But this was kind of like the next step with that. There was this thread box. You take this pin out, and you can open that. And you know, it would normally start way back here when you start the hole. And then as you turn it, it threads itself into the main. So you don't physically have to push on it, you know?
Okay.
So you would start it way back here, and as you turn it, it would feed itself in. Which it did when we started, but now we let the kids turn this, and they've all drilled this all the way in by now. So we said the child labor force of Scranton's drilled 1 coal hole so far.
So that's what I have on mine. I have the tips, but I don't have the self-threader.
Okay.
I never even knew that existed.
Yeah, that thing's pretty nice.
Yeah, because if not, you're just forcing into it to try to.
Yeah.
At least that gives it help.
Yep. So we got some rock drills,
Mm-hmm.
a bigger one, and smaller rock hammer. They call this thing a little bed devil, but this guy works good for drilling rock. You still got to push on it pretty good, but.
Man, it's just going up an angle, huh?
Yeah, she's got some pitch back here. Yep. This is jack leg drill. You familiar with these?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I ran this guy for 4 years in a mine outside Tamaqua. Not too far from number 9.
Really?
When you're going to number 9, I think you're probably going to go down 309 in Tamaqua and make a left. If you made a right on 209 and went out that way, maybe 5 miles or so. There's a mine out there that we worked at we started there in 2008, and then we closed the place in 2021.
You started it in 8?
Yeah.
Like
the guy
new face?
Yeah, he started. It was actually an old chamber that went up from an old colliery. They chased that chamber down, and then they stopped mining at the, I want to say the 1,300 foot level, and then it went down another 400 feet below that, and that was all virgin coal down below it. So they just mined up towards the old works.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So we were using the jack legs to drill between different veins because there was 7 foot Skidmore and all the splits in the mammoth right there. So we were using these to drill rock holes between the 2 different veins, or 3 different veins.
Is that a nice setup there for dynamite?
Yeah, we got a nice little shot pattern set up there. So I think 8 holes, 3 top, 3 bottom, and 2 relievers in the middle there. And then the firing line just goes out and around the corner, and 150 feet away and around 2 corners, like you're supposed to. Yeah, but then it's also dark in these mines.
Yeah, a little bit. Huh?
So yeah. So we've got the safety light here, but I think Jerry's got some other people back there, so we don't want to leave them off for too long. Yeah, so I didn't hear anybody scream. So
when we used to go in, we used 2 kerosene lanterns. That's all we used.
Yeah.
We had flashlights, but I don't know, Dad said, well, we're gonna be in here for a while. The batteries go dead. This is back in the.
So there's no methane there.
Yeah. In the 80s, and you're using the big brick batteries.
Mm-hmm.
So we did the kerosene instead.
Okay.
So we just go in and hang them up.
Yep. This is our coal drill that we use for when we drove the Escapeway. So these things are a little nicer than that.
Oh yeah,
we have that
twist
big
handle,
heavier
twist
one
throttle.
now. Yeah, it's like a motorcycle throttle.
Yeah.
You know, just running. Which is funny, 'cause, you know, that runs the cold drill, but this way it runs the jack leg.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that manual, or am I missing something?
What's that?
I said I didn't realize it was that
no,
manual.
their air hose goes on.
Oh,
So
okay.
it runs on compressed air.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
and then you just pull the
Yep, and then you just run the
so to speak.
throttle. It's just like a giant drill that you screw, you know, put screws in the wall or something with. It just runs on compressed air.
Gotcha.
And it's not noisy.
Yeah, these guys are a little noisy. It's not too bad. Sometimes you can wrap it. This is the exhaust port here. You just wrap it per lap, and that kind of keeps the blast of the air coming out and the noise down a little bit. But they're not that bad. They're not as bad as this thing. I have on the hat. I have earbuds that clip down and come down just for when you're running jack leg or any of these rock drills. So, yeah. Tamping stick for tamping your powder in. You know, using wooden tamping stick. Yeah.
I found one up on my place, but it was real skinny and long.
Okay.
Smaller diameter.
Yeah. Howdy.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Is this the little one's first coal mine?
It is.
Awesome.
And he loves it.
Oh, a light bulb.
You want to touch the...
Take a walk around this way. We meet in the middle. Yeah, loops right around.
Here, this is our Escapeway.
Gary will
second
tell you
exit.
about this. This is what he has to offer.
So yeah, you may want to pick them up and shove this.
We'll see. We'll go
You can see
there.
there's multiple tours going on right
Oh,
now.
wow.
This time.
No, no, you can't come home. The guy will pick you up in a minute. Got him pick you up in a minute.
I'm gonna take these guys up. But I mean, when you're all done, but.
Stay by me.
You guys different back and I mean, it's just a
Part of the way up, there's a crosscut to that other section with drag lines.
Yeah. Dude, when we drove, there was 35 tons of this here. Really? When you look at it, you wouldn't think it was that much, but yeah.
Low coal.
You did it all by hand. Well, yeah, that's cool. You got the young guys. They enjoy it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they were right up there.
Yeah. I was watching some videos.
At one point, we had 4 people.
All right, you want to hang out for a second? I'll take him up. I'll come back and
Yep, one at a time.
and turn it. This would, you know, screw into the rail and then kink it just a little bit.
Yeah.
And now that would make a little kink there. Now you move this to where this is, right here, and you do it again.
Okay.
And you move this to where this is, and you do it again. You just kink it a little bit each time, and it puts the curve in the rail. And you would think that would take forever, but it actually goes pretty quick. We did this whole thing in 3 days, 4 days, 4 days. Yeah.
Torch? No torch?
No, you do bending cold.
Oh.
Yeah. You could hit it with a hammer too as you're going to kind of rearranges the molecules, I guess. On these stuff. But, yeah.
Because what I got with, now you keep a gauge,
We do. Yeah.
What is
So
the gauge guide?
we use gauge rod.
there you go.
Yeah. So you nail the spike one rail, bend it to where you want it, and then you use your gauge rod to set the other one as you're going. Yeah. And then on curves, you want to open it up a ½ inch or so. So it's hard to point out. That's a different, yeah, that's like a one-legger. I've never actually seen one like that, but somebody found it and said, here, you need to put this on display in the mine. So there it is. But yeah. Yeah.
Everything we've done in working steel mills too. So what we do in there is we put the rail down and we weld the clips and
Okay.
straight down when it hits on asphalt.
Over, you know, this thing would have been, if we raise this flame just a little bit. Yeah, sorry. That's about what you would have seen
Right.
with a
And you know
oil
what
in
in
front of your
there's a
face.
difference.
Yeah,
That's what we did. We used to use
So-
a little bit more.
Yeah, this would
There's the carbide and then there's
kill that
the
light, Scott.
safety light.
Freaking Scott. So yeah, this would be on your head.
Yep.
So this is what you'd see with your oil whip light. So you can see how you can't really, it's not directional, you know. But you can see what the great improvement it would be with that thing now. If you shine it up on the face.
You can smell it.
Yeah. It smells
Breathe it in all day.
Yeah. So that Yeah, you can see your drill pattern. You can see that thing really puts out a nice bead. That's a nice one, Greg. Way better than Scott's.
And that's all running on carbide gas. When you just put carbide, you add water to it, it's just like the gas.
Yeah.
So this is the type of lighting. Well, now they have modern lanterns like
The
this
acetylene doesn't
on
give
their
off
heads,
carbon
but this is
monoxide
what they
first.
would have used
Right.
Helpful.
prior.
And then
To
how
the
many
new
times do you have to
model.
refill that ship, do you think, Scott?
I usually one or two, at least 2 or 3 times.
So how do you,
I'll probably last about 4 hours.
so my question is,
Wow.
I guess you gotta have a safety light or something with you, because how do you shut that off to fill it? Unless you have a
Exactly.
buddy, you know, you got a buddy with
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
Well, what do you
exactly.
do? I guess you get your lighter out of your pocket and hold it and use
Yeah,
it.
yeah, you're lighter. Well, it didn't matter if that thing was going.
Right.
People were smoking when they were using those anyway.
Yeah, yeah. So I did Scott, he was a tour, that's what I mentioned before, Scott's a tour guide over in Lackawanna, back in the long ago. Back when he was my age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. When that was your age, yeah.
Here's the cross. Yeah, so we just finished this cross cut, the second Saturday in February.
I know. It's one. We're doing 2 today and 2 tomorrow.
Yeah, so we're good.
Wait, see if there's something else I can arrange for you.
A little sneaky peek.
Maybe. Alright, if you can grab this prop, might help. There you go.
Gotta get my. Okay.
Yep.
There we go.
There you go.
Alrighty.
Alright, you can go first.
Alrighty.
When you get to the cross cut up there, you can take a look to the right. The new cross cut we made, you can see over there.
Let me see if my headlamp is there. Okay. I don't know if you can see much.
Alright, yep, so there's the cross cut.
Here's the crosscut.
So this is the return. This is the return airway for that chamber over there. This would be the cross cut for ventilation.
Okay.
The number two cross cut. We call it the number 2 east cross cut. The number 1 cross cut's the one down there at that we come across to go over to the drag chamber.
Okay.
So you can take a crawl over there and look at the drag bucket. And
You got an up close look at it.
yep.
So just imagine the conditions these guys work in. This gives you a sort of an idea. So there's the drag bucket. Okay. So we were looking earlier from over there, and there's the drag line set up, the drag bucket set up. So they just would pull all the coal straight down. Normally I would have a headband, but
How's the crawl? Pretty cool. Here's the ventilation fan. Yeah. Here's the portal door. You ready to go out? Sure. I'm gonna stay in here. I'm gonna get back outside.
so I made it through. Got to get my hands a little dirty because I forgot to grab my my gloves. They're sitting at home right now, and I brought them just for this, but I totally forgot about it. So that was an awesome experience. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me and crawling through what would have been a working mine, but again, this was to showcase mining history and what it was like in the conditions for these guys to mine.